In the trial between OpenAI and Elon Musk, so much is coming out pertaining to the company's inner workings, as well as insights into what kind of guy Sam Altman really is. And keep in mind, I am not rooting for either party in this, and I can't imagine many of you are either. These tech CEOs and billionaires are like so many other tech CEOs and billionaires that we know. None of them got as rich as they did by being ethical business people. None of them got as far as they did by being nice to their workers or to the environment or even to their customers. And none of them became as insanely rich as they did without being at least a little, but in most cases, a lot delusional. Take the Trumps, for instance. You get the impression that the Trumps have always known that this jig had a short shelf life because they've really been running scam after scam like they are running out of time. As of January of this year, so 1 year into Trump's second presidential term, the New Yorker reported that Trump and his family have profiteered $4 billion while Trump has been president. This is completely unheard of and unprecedented. And while the more obvious scams and conflicts of interest have been talked about ad nauseum, these things are still happening right now. There is nothing these people will not exploit for money, and their fan base is still loyal enough that they will just continue to give the Trumps more and more of their hard-earned money for very little in return. For Mother's Day, for example, Melania Trump sold $245 necklaces to her supporters, and surprise, people who received the necklaces started complaining that the necklaces were not worth the price point. And the grift earned Melania the title of Garbage Person of the Week from our very own Brett Ehrlich on a recent episode of The Damage Report.
Call me Gavin Newsom because I'm doing Melania today. Melania Trump is my garbage person because she sees Mother's Day as a way to rip off her supporters. She is selling on her website the Love and Gratitude necklace. This is the latest grift from her. It is a gold-plated charm on a necklace, and she's selling it, if you click through, she's selling it for $245. Many people have looked at competitors. I forget what it's gold vermeil, which is essentially silver wrapped in gold, the thinnest layer, and it's engravable. And they're complaining this is too expensive. It is. If you look at competitors such as the Theo Grace, you can get 3 charms for $140 all engraved. And don't tell me that this is like the Claire's of the internet. Theo Grace was founded by Nikki Hilton.
She also sells Christmas ornaments, even though she is on record as hating Christmas. And honestly, is she to blame, or at this point, are the people that are still getting duped by these people the ones at fault? Does this count as victim blaming? I mean, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, 3 times, 10 times. Come on, get there faster. But let's get back to Elon and Sam, 2 former friends and colleagues who don't seem to have anything good to say about the other anymore. Elon used to be a part of OpenAI, but he is now suing OpenAI and Sam Altman, with his primary grievance being that he was misled into financially backing the company. OpenAI originally professed to be a nonprofit focused on developing a safe, open source AGI. However, the company has since transitioned to a for-profit model. Whether or not Elon will win his case is obviously yet to be seen. However, as a co-founder and former board member of OpenAI, Elon should have known that the company had always been set up as a nonprofit with the option to transition to a for-profit model. Also, OpenAI is still technically sort of a nonprofit. The OpenAI Foundation controls the company with board authority and a 26% stake, and it is still a nonprofit. However, the overall organization is now a for-profit corporation. And I mentioned earlier that billionaires are often delusional. Whether or not they actually are is beside the point that I'm making right now, but being delusional or acting and speaking in a delusional way can be very lucrative for them. Just look at Trump. All of his mannerisms, his entire way of speaking is rooted in imagination. None of it is real. You see 10 people standing in a field and he will tell you that it was actually 100 people there with a completely straight face like a crazy person. He is always the best and the biggest and the hottest of everything. He did better on his cognitive assessment than any other president, even though no other president has ever been made to take a cognitive assessment. His entire career has been built on him telling people what to believe so many times that they actually start to believe him. And Elon Musk does something very similar. Elon Musk does not build things. He's not an engineer. He's a business person who came from a lot of money. He aligns himself with people who are actually doing things, and he takes what they've built from them. But one thing he does that is impressive is that he is able to sell the public on his own personal image of him as a visionary. He is both Steve Jobs and Wozniak combined into one Elon Musk. He is the guy who is going to make all of the promises, accept all of the investment money, and then never deliver on those promises. He has done it time and time again, and people keep falling for it. People and entire governments just keep giving him money to do things that he will never actually do. Now he's on track to become a trillionaire, and for what? Sam Altman, it has been reported, is also a fantastical liar. You want to talk about pattern recognition? He has demonstrated a, quote, consistent pattern of lying, according to those close to him. In court last week, jurors heard video testimony from Mira Murati, OpenAI's former chief technical officer, once a very close associate of Altman, in which she accused him of creating chaos at the company. Murati, who left OpenAI in 2024, testified that Altman had a pattern of saying one thing to one person and completely the opposite to another person. He's been called untrustworthy, which is not something you want from a leader of a company, let alone the leader of a company that is insistent on ushering in the next industrial revolution, very much against the will of the people it is being thrust upon. And sure, you can argue that the industrial revolution was also frowned upon by the people living through it at the time, but let's consider why. The industrial revolution had children laboring under vile, harsh, dirty, and deadly conditions. There was pollution everywhere. London got its fog. People were dying from increased rates of cancer and tuberculosis. And people, craftspeople who dedicated their lives to learning a skill or a craft and building a business off of it, were replaced by machines who did their jobs faster but not better. After a while, the faster but not better output was accepted as normal, while anything handmade and skilled is considered now high-end and often unattainable. The pollution was accepted as normal, even though we now have piles of trash in our oceans and on shorelines, even as we have compromised air quality and contaminated water sources. The loss of knowledge and skills over time has also become accepted. So we can draw parallels between then and now, but the truth is there is no real comparison between what happened back then and what we are now looking forward to. AI is an exponentially bigger threat to people and industries and societies and resources than the Industrial Revolution ever was. And what's sad about that is that these psycho billionaires are in an arms race with one another to get their stuff to market first. They are all struggling to make it profitable, though. They're struggling to justify the astronomical costs associated with this. They're fighting for something that is incredibly popular among the people, including the people who regularly use the technology, oftentimes because many of them are being made to use it in school or at their jobs. And they are doing all of this without really being able to tell anyone how it will improve the future overall for more people. So far, it has made things worse. And while that might be considered a growing pain, what do we have to look forward to? What is their solution for the societal disruptions their technology is already responsible for? Who will pay the giant bills that they're incurring? Because we all know that billionaires do not like to pay bills or taxes. And to be fair, OpenAI did try to get rid of Altman, but they ultimately failed to do so. Either way, these companies are out there and they're coming for our resources and reality as we know it. And I'm not ever going to argue that this version of life isn't without its downsides. There is plenty of room for improvement. But from what I've seen, from what I know of the world according to Altman or Musk or Wang is simply not it. All right, that's it for me. If you got anything out of this, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks.